March 30th, 8:36 p.m. As I sat down, pen and notepad in hand, and the room being dimly lit, the only source of light coming from the small desk lamp illuminating the table between us. Across from me sat a young girl, who off first appearance looks no more than 12, her wide eyes fixed on me with a mixture of curiosity and fear. Her blonde hair hung in loose curls around her face, framing her delicate features. She fidgeted nervously in her seat, her small hands gripping the edge of the table. As I prepared to ask her the questions that would determine the outcome of my investigation, I felt this sense of unease none I ever felt before throughout my 20 years on the force. But nevertheless, I had a job to do, and I couldn't afford to let my emotions get in the way. Taking a deep breath, I cleared my throat and fixed my gaze on the little girl. "Now, Ivy," I began, my voice steady but gentle. "I need you to tell me everything you remember about that night. How did the whole conversation start between you two?" I asked. She let go of her grip to the table as her eyes shifted to the ground.
"Well,"
she spoke in with a soft innocence.
"he texted me off my social app. He told me I was adorable and wanted to know my name."
I jotted down in my notes her words as I continued the discussion. "Did he tell you his age?" I asked.
30.
She responded. "You told him you were 12? She nods her head while tangling her hair with her fingers.
"We talked for a few days.
She added.
Then he said he wanted to meet me."
"Did he do just that?" I asked her.
"Yes."
Her eyes met mine, swinging her legs freely in the chair. I asked her to tell me everything that happened as soon as he arrived.
"Well, I told him what time I'll be alone after school, and he came over because he wanted to see me. He came and gave me a hug. He said he was so happy to be there with me, and told me I look so beautiful."
I tried to cover my emotions of disgust as I asked her, "And then what?"
"I poured him juice,"
she replied.
"because he said it was his favorite. We drank juice and watched TV, but then he told me he had a special secret,
What was the secret, Ivy?
that he had a crush on me, and how he wanted to be a special friend of his, and then asked me if I liked him too. I said yes, and he wanted a hug."
"Ivy?" I asked with a seriousness in my voice. "This is very important for me to know. What happened next?" Her eyes finally locked into mine. She carried on with the story.
"Before I could hug him, he made this face.
She said.
He said he felt funny, and then he fell over."
I write down the information given. "Ivy, what did you do?" With a creepy smile formed onto her face, she said with a cold-hearted voice.
"I grabbed a knife and stabbed him."
"How many times, Ivy?" I asked.
"I don't know, maybe 30 times,
She answered.
or 40, I can't remember."
Ivy, when the officers found his body, it was decaying and his head decapitated. She sat there with a grin on her face and a slight giggle. "Ivy?" I asked. "When is your birthday?"
"September 14th.
She said. "What year?" I asked. She sat quietly. "Ivy?" I repeated. "It says here you were born in 1997. That'll make you 27 of this year." She once again continued playing with her hair. I showed her photos of everything we found inside the home she lived in. All of the body parts, some so gruesome, others unrecognizable and decomposing. "How many others have you done this with, Ivy?"
"I can't remember,
She responded.
but they all were bad men. Very, very bad men."
The few bodies we could make out were all past registered offenders. Looking through the messages we recovered from her phone, she would entertain these sick individuals until she would inevitably lure them to their cold, gruesome fate. We found over 49 different body parts and bones, all seemingly belonging to different bodies, some being dead for months, others years maybe. The smell inside the home was unbearable. More body parts found tied up into trash bags in the basement. She didn't even try to dispose of them from her home. It's as if she wanted to keep them. One head was found with no eyes as it was gouged out, another with all his teeth pulled. But the teeth were found inside a jar near her bed. One can only wonder what sick pleasure she got of that. After giving all this information, I asked her, "Ivy, why?" she whispered.
I'm doing God's work. I'm eliminating all the bad men.
I then asked, "What happened to your father?" But I was met with silence. From what I had in my report, her father took both her and her older sister in 2010 when their mother was killed in a hit and run. He had prior convictions dealing with alcohol and was said to be abusive.
He was a bad person as well.
She cried.
For years, he had done terrible things to my sister behind closed doors. It became too much for her to bear. It wasn't until one morning I found her hanging from our bedroom.
I sat in chills. I kind of felt a stretch of sympathy for her, but had to remind myself of the massacres she committed. I'm truly sorry to hear Ivy, but my question was, what happened to your father? She dropped her head. I knew this was going to be difficult for her, but I needed her to get as much information as possible.
He's gone.
As in deceased? I asked. She continued looking downwards, her skin becoming pale. After a minute, she finally spoke.
He had to go. He was the first to go. During one of his drunk nights. He passed out and I took that as the right time.
Right time for what? I asked.
Splitting his throat.
She answered with a sinister look. What did you do with the body?
I don't remember.
I can tell she was lying. Ivy, I understand you had a hard life, but you posed as a child to lure predators into your home to brutally kill them. There's no way out of this. At least come to peace with it all. She remained quiet. It was clear this wasn't going any further. I got as much as I could get from her, and allowed the officers to do their job cuffing her and taking her away. After a few days has passed, it was concluded that over 36 men were murdered in that house. Well confirmed, that is. We will never know the true body count of Ivy's sadistic act. One of the many things found inside her home was a journal that she wrote in, the only true key into what happened within those horrific walls, as well as what's been going through Ivy's mind throughout her massacres. She spoke about how she loved to torture her victims, and how her favorite part was their screams. She even spoke about one of her victims named Jacob. She wrote how he was her favorite, and how he was the youngest by being only 22. She wrote that she actually liked him, but nevertheless he thought she was a 12-year-old, and how he has to go like the others. But she kept something of his to remember him by. I honestly prefer not to say, but one thing I read for sure I can tell you gave me a weak stomach was one victim named Charlie. This was actually one criminal I knew of, a repeat offender that went missing some time back. She wrote in her journal, out of all the predators, she hated him the most. He would tell her about all the others he's been with. Send her photos of them as well. One photo that drove her mad was a girl that looked no older than 10. I too was sickened. She flayed him, and she enjoyed every minute of it. He was alive for the entire thing. Reading through, I couldn't find anything about her father and where his remains may be. News reports picked up the story. They dubbed her the female Dahmer. They ran with the story about her having a condition that makes her look like a 12-year-old girl. But in reality, a cold killer with a thirst of blood for men that prey on the weak, the same way her father preyed on both her and her sister. Ivy was sent into an institution where she will remain for the rest of her life. I don't think I can ever get the images of those corpses out of my mind, nor would I forget the darkness in her eyes. A true predator is in its cage.